So the closed guard position is a rather isolated position. If we want to accomplish anything from within the closed guard, aside from this choke, right, aside from that, we have to open the guard. So the open guard is a relatively new concept in modern sport-specific Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but it's been around in classical Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu as a matter of course because of the necessity of creating distance between you and your opponent to keep yourself safe. For example, in the punch block series, when I'm in phase 1, I'm as tight as possible, my knees are high, and I'm very close here. But you'll notice that once we go to phase 2, there, my guard's open now. So this is technically an open guard position. We go right through to phase 2 completely. Open guard position, the feet are no longer crossed. Phase 3, right, open guard. Phase 4, when the guy stands, right, also an open guard position. So the closed guard is available as a tool, but in order to really accomplish anything, I have to move to an open guard. One of the open guard positions that have become popular recently, and I mean recently like within the last decade, it's been popular in the sense that it's been used regularly in sport and in live sparring in the academies, is called the sitting guard. And because our primary concern is in keeping with Helio's philosophy of always remaining safe, let's look at a way that we can transition from this closed guard to an open guard called the sitting guard while maintaining the safety of our connection so that we don't have a guard pass occur, which causes us to be in a much weaker position, right? Much less dominant position. So we ended up in the guard during our playing. This is something very curious and experimental that we can put our own creativity into, but let's look at how to practically move from this position to another. From the closed guard, Helio always liked to hold the collar and hold the sleeve. So this is a nice way to be. You can hold the sleeve here, you can hold the cuff. If there's no gi, you can hold the wrist, and you can hold the neck. But let's say that we're training in the gi, and we're holding the collar and the sleeve. And the scenario is that the person that I'm training with is very, very robust and aggressive and bulldozes through me quite a bit. And I just want to create some distance between me and this very aggressive opponent. Maybe every time I try to choke, he blocks it. Maybe every time I catch some type of triangle, he just blasts out. He's got good posture and base, and he's stronger than I am, so it makes it very rough. I need to be in a more dominant position to control him, and I need to at least be using the space more appropriately than I am here, where I'm sort of stuck very close. So we transition to the sitting guard, or to an open guard position. In order to do that safely, I want to keep a hold of the collar and the sleeve to keep these two elements down and away, right? Down and away. Don't let him grab too much. And I can open my guard and put my feet on the ground. And I don't do this where I'm relaxed and he can just push my knee down and pass, right? I keep my knees touching, and look, my toes, I can point them out a little bit. And this allows me to have some sensitivity so that if the person backs up, I can just close my guard again and we stay here. And if he tries to run forward, I can do the same thing and I can push him away on his hips, right? But for now, I open the guard and put my feet down, my knees are together, my toes are out at angles, and I can just do a shoulder walk here. Look, 1, 2, 3, the same shoulder walk we do when we're setting up the triangle from stage 1.5. And now that I can't really reach the collar so much anymore, I can just transition to this, right? And it's easy for me to reach the feet to his hips, right here, 1, 2. And it's pretty natural at this point to also just hold the sleeves. Now that the feet are in the hips, I have a little space. His nature has been to aggress against me over the top and bulldoze me a lot, and the feet and the hips are really going to help that. I can hold him here and stretch him a little bit and keep him away. I can lift my hips up a bit, and it's harder for him to run over me. So now that I have this more secure position and I've gotten a little breathing room, I'm going to switch my grips to one sleeve across, right, across. And whichever sleeve I go to, that's the side that I'm going to shrimp away from. Look, just like this, right, just like this. So feet are in the hips, and I'm holding the sleeves and giving myself some room. I can be like this too. Whatever. Switch the grip and then hip away. Basic shrimp, little shrimp. Once I hip away, my goal is to move to a seated position. So I'm going to stretch the arm and use the runaway that we do in the warm-ups, right? From the arm, I go to the elbow. And from the elbow, I go to the hand. Now I can drop one foot outside. Look at the foot position here. This foot, I use like a hook on the outside of his knee. And then this foot goes inside. And I can let go of this and swim under the arm and use this hand to push me around the corner. If the camera comes around the back here, you'll see that the grip I make, if the camera comes around the back, if the camera comes around the back, you're the camera, please come around the back. If the camera comes around the back, you'll see here that the grip I have is on the belt. If I can't grab the belt, I can just hold the waist. And if you come around this side, please, and look at the position of the feet. Right, this foot is outside, hooked around his knee. And the other foot is inside. You can come around here and pull from this side. Inside and making this hook. My head should be maybe close against his chest like this. If I'm up, I give him the chance to put that hand in my collar. And now he can come under my arm, under the arm, and hold the collar the other way, right? Just like a front choke. He can start to put a little pressure here. That can be bothersome for me. Or he can use, if my head is high, he can use his own head on my chest to push me down, right, and open the legs very easily. So from this seated position, now that I've worked towards it, I hold the belt, or I hold the hip, or the lat, and I use this hand to just keep the arm away, and I just want to be close here. I just like to be close here and wait to see how he moves. So let's walk through the whole thing silently and then talk about it one more time. From the closed guard. What did I do? From the closed guard against a very aggressive opponent who's always pressing forward, the hands in the collar, the hands in the sleeve, I open the guard, the feet are out, the knees touch, and I shoulder walk until I'm at the length of my arm, feet in the hips, keeping him away. Hold the sleeves, choose the side that I want to go to, and grab opposite. Now I shrimp, pressure on this foot, so I shrimp away. My hips move away, but I'm still touching both feet in the hips. To sit up, I stretch the arm and go to the elbow. Now from here, if I just go to the hand, I'm a little tippable here. If he pushes forward or even pushes the chest. So I need to be moving from the stretched arm to the elbow. When I move to the hand, that's when I change my feet. I move to the hand and that's when I change my feet. Look, as I'm moving, I'm going to drop and sit at the same time. And I use the hand on the ground here to push myself close and swim under. Look, this hand goes under his arm so I can hold the belt or hold the hip. And then naturally the head is going to be on his chest. If I'm straight, this is not as effective as if I'm around the corner. You see the angle here, right? He's facing this way and I'm facing that way. I want that angle advantage. We'll see why later. One more time. From the closed guard, hand in the collar, hand in the sleeve. Open, touch, point the feet out. Shoulder walk, feet in the hips. Hold the sleeves. Wait here and see how this person responds. When I feel like I have the opportunity, I shrimp and switch. Stretch the arm. Do the runaway now. Stretch the arm. Sit to the elbow. On the way to the hand, I switch the feet and swim underneath to hold the belt or the hip and just keep this away, head on the chest. And, of course, angular. Angular, facing this way. Not straight, but around the corner. And that's how we move from the closed guard to the sitting guard. Okay? Make sense? Let's try.